What's up, everybody? My name's Thomas with World Animal Foundation. Today we're going to be talking about invisible fences. 3 specific smart collars that allow you to build invisible fences. The SpotOn Omni version, the Halo 3, and the invisible fence. And we're going to cover various different aspects about these products and how beneficial invisible fences are for you, along with the pros and cons of each. So when you walk away from this video, you'll have a good understanding of the kind of value that invisible fences bring to the table and what smart collar is best for you and your family and, of course, your dog. All right, let's start things off by talking about the invisible fence. The invisible fence comes with a lot of different features, as you can imagine, as a smart collar. It costs about $599 to pick one up, and it comes with 1 year of tracking subscription, generally for free. I got mine for free, and I say generally because I'm not entirely sure if that is an ongoing permanent thing or if that is just, flavor of the month type deal with them. Don't know. As of right now, I know you get that first year subscription for free. You can set up a grand total of 20 fences with the invisible fence. Now that's anywhere in the U.S. Has to be in the U.S. It is not international. Collar sizing is between 15 inches and 28 inches. You can open and close that collar pretty extensively. I've messed with it a little bit. If you've seen my previous review on the invisible fence, or if you haven't seen my previous review, you should go back and check it out because I cover a lot of this extra stuff as well. It works on yards as small as 3/4 of an acre. So out of the 3 collars, that is the largest starting yard that you have to work with. So if you've got something smaller than 3/4 of an acre, then you'll have to look into something different. You have professional support available right here in the U.S. So if you need to consult with anybody, you've got free, unlimited customer service. You call them anytime you like, jump online and email them anytime you like, and you will get a response, and it's local. And I will say that the invisible fence is very easy to set up. You just basically pull it out of the box, download the app, and the app, like the SpotOn and the Halo 3, pretty much does the work for you with a few simple things that you have to do on your end. All right, now with your invisible fence, the 2 main components is obviously the cradle system and the collar. The cradle system has a little 4-prong charging port thing there that this collar slides into. It kind of gives you an idea where the collar is going to go. Once you slide it in, it just snaps cleanly in. You also get your little probes, you get your little thing to twist them on. And it comes with mounting hardware in case you want to mount this thing up on the wall or something. You can do that as well. And obviously you get your USB-C cable with the charging port that goes in the back. So the pros and cons of the invisible fence are relatively simplified. You get professional installation and support if you want it. You can contact them at any time and do that. If you don't feel like you're up to the challenge of setting up the collar, don't think it's a very difficult thing to do, but you can always work with customer service if you need to. You also get a generally reliable and consistent boundary enforcement. Like I said, I've done a review on the invisible fence prior. If you want to go back and check that out, it'll give you more of a broader understanding of how well the invisible fence functions. One of the cons is that it's expensive, especially when you consider the fact that you're paying for the collar and you're paying for a yearly subscription. They do not offer any other subscription models. You have to pay for the entire annual thing. So you'll get billed annually just like most annual bills work. So there's nothing new there, but it is there and it's $100. Lack of portability. Once it's installed, it's difficult to move, and when I say that, I mean it's difficult to move in that you always have to reset the collar when you want to change things. That's unlike some of the other smart collars out there on the market, but you have to reset and you have to have the collar on or off the base station, and that's not always indicated. Like if you need to install a new fence or something on there, the collar has to come off the base station, but other things you do with the app, you have to keep the collar on the base station, and that's not specified. So it can be a bit of a pain if you need to, get up and move and take your portable fence to, or create a portable fence in another area. Now the Halo 3 collar comes with GPS tracking features and health tracking. So not only do you get the benefits of being, the invisible fence outside, you also get the benefits of, telling what your dog's activities are throughout the day and, how much exercise they're getting, things of that nature. Halo 3 keeps all of that stuff on the app where you can access it with bar graphs showing you how much activity your dog is getting per day. Pretty neat little addition. Not necessarily exactly what everybody's looking for when they try to get, or they're looking for an invisible fence, but it's a nice little bonus with the invisible fence and the tracking features, of course. Halo uses universal cell coverage, so no matter where your dog's at, it picks up the strongest cell carrier and goes with that one. You get real-time tracking with that universal cell coverage. The Halo 3 utilizes an active antenna, which I think is important, and I'll discuss that here in a little bit as well. You can get the collars to fit 11-inch neck all the way up to 30.5 inches, and that is based on whether you go with the small or the medium large. They have this perfect fit system that they use that allows you to cut off any excess collar and replace the little end caps on the collars. You get Cesar Millan guided training design. This was built with Cesar Millan, and it's all video tutorials located in the app, and you can use these to train your dog and set up the collar, work with the fences and everything, and get everything exactly how you want it according to how Cesar Millan does things. Based on your subscription, you can get up to unlimited fences depending on what tier subscription model you're using. Something that we'll cover here a little more thoroughly in a moment. It's relatively easy to set up, and it comes loaded with video tutorials that cover the setup process as well as various other questions, frequently asked questions that you may have, and the training process as well. For the Halo 3, you get some neat little additional things. One of the things I like about the collars is they've got this little Velcro sleeve that slides over and around the collar, which protects it, and then you got your little LED light up display here. You also get a beacon. This is for like creating your little keep out zones inside the house, and you can purchase more of these. Some of them are weatherproof, designed to set up outside, so you can create keep away zones outside as well. Obviously, you get your USB-C cable and the magnet, which pops onto the little bottom piece here, and charging it makes for easy charging. You don't get a cradle with it, but you do get that magnet piece. You also get these little end caps, and that's in case you need to cut off the end of your collar. There's a little clamp piece, and you just clamp down on it real good to set your new end cap in place after you cut it. And of course, you also get the little screw-in thing with the Halo that you get with the SpotOn for putting your probes on the back of the collars if you want to use the shock. So what are the pros and cons of the Halo 3? Well, to start with, it's easy to set up. There's no digging, no wiring that you have to deal with. That's an obvious pro with these different smart collars and how they function. You eliminate the usage of wires and heavy labor in the backyard or actually constructing a physical fence. It's portable, obviously. It can be used in various different locations all throughout the U.S. and based again on different subscription models, you could take it out of the U.S. somewhat. It has all the built-in training guidance, video guidance you need. If you are a visual learner, the Halo 3 is definitely going to cater to you more than some of the other smart collars out there, because almost everything is covered in videos, and that includes video conferencing with customer service as well. Obviously, you also get GPS tracking. That's a big pro. Without that, there would really be no use for the collar. Some of the cons: you got your battery life. The Halo 3 has improved on that somewhat. You're getting close to a full 24 hours, but in practice, it's few hours less depending on what you're actively using the collar for. Halo 3 does have inconsistencies from time to time. I've had these collars for a very long time now, and I've used them consistently, and I do know that their signals are inconsistent at times. They're not as inconsistent as some of the other cheaper collars out there, but it does happen, and this is beyond just your general fence drift as well. There are occasions, especially if you get up under the trees and you've got a heavy tree canopy, you're liable to deal with inconsistencies in the signal. You're also limited by your subscriptions. To start with, you have to have a subscription to use a Halo 3 collar. I mean, even if it's the bottom tier subscription, okay? And you've got bronze, silver, and gold, and then you've got, that branches off into various different stuff that I'm not even going to get into because I think it's ridiculous. But you can do annual plans. The bronze plan, you can only have 5 fences total. The silver plan gives you 20 fences. The gold plan gives you unlimited fences. And there are other little things sprinkled throughout like that, or similar. So that is something you'll have to deal with. You will have to have a subscription. And you may be able to get a few months free or something. That just entirely dependent on Halo, but you have to have it in order to use the collar. Then we've got the SpotOn Omni, or just the SpotOn collar. SpotOn's got a lot of different things going for it. To start with, I guess we should say that it does have the 1/2 acre minimal limitation on it, so that's something you should consider before anything else, before I even dig into the pros and cons. If you've got a lot that's smaller than 1/2 an acre, the SpotOn's just not going to be right for you. It does use real-time GPS tracking, and it's got one of the most consistent tracking signals and location signals that I have seen or experienced in a smart collar. It's extremely portable, ready to travel. You can build fences all over the place. You can build massive invisible fences. I'm talking hundreds of acres with this thing. So it's very suitable for travel. It comes with an off-grid mode, which is great if you're like an RVer or boondocker and you really get out there away from, you know, everything and all the noise and all the crowds. You can still use that off-grid mode to construct yourself a fence. It also has an active antenna in it, and like I said, it's one of the most accurate that I have personally ever dealt with. All right, with the SpotOn, you got several things that it comes with. Obviously, you got the collar, and this is its little cradle, which that just slides right into. Doing it backwards. There you go. Slides right into that. And of course, you got your USB-C cable that comes with it. It's fairly easy to set up. And then once you plug that in, you can just slot your collar right in there and charge it. This here is for removing screwing on or removing the probes. And the probes themselves come in the box already. You get 4 of them. So that about wraps up the SpotOn. There's not a whole lot going on with it, but that's actually perfectly fine with me because keeping it simple, and I appreciate that. Pros and cons, and I'll just start off with the cons first on this one to get it out of the way. The elephant in the room, so to speak. It is $999 to get this collar. You may find a discount here or there. You may be able to use a code that we offer from time to time, or you may catch a spring sale, but in the end, ultimately, it's $1,000 to purchase this collar. So, I mean, might as well get that out of the way first and foremost. The GPS signals on this thing are really, really reliable. I've only ever discovered a hitch or two occasionally, and that's usually due to fence drift. As far as the pros, the fence design creation is highly customizable. You can walk it out, you can draw it out, you can mess with it, you can edit it, and it just, boom, it loads right onto the collar each and every time. As long as that collar's charged up and nearby your phone, it is absolutely no problem to go out there and make 100 different edits to your fence if you need to. It's got real-time GPS tracking and location. It is highly accurate with that active antenna in it, and it works very well through the trees because of its built-in forest mode. So if you've got a heavy tree canopy in your backyard, the SpotOn is definitely the collar for you. It's extremely portable and suitable for travel. It's got the off-grid mode that you can activate or deactivate anytime you like. If you get way out there in the middle of nowhere, you don't have to worry. You can still utilize that off-grid mode to create a single invisible fence. So it's probably one of the most versatile smart collars on the market in terms of what you can do with it, where and how. If you want to build fences in Tennessee and fences in California and fences in Arizona, you can do that. You can put fences all over the place. And to me, that makes the SpotOn collar probably the most portable and versatile of the bunch. All right, as far as pricing and subscription, the SpotOn is the only smart collar of the 3 that you do not need a subscription for if you just want to contain your dog. If you want to build an invisible fence and keep your dog inside of it, you do not need a subscription for that. Everything about the collar functions 100% just as far as that containment is concerned. Now, if you want to add tracking to it, then you've got your basic subscription plans, which start at like $9.99 a month. Currently, the SpotOn costs $999. Then you've got the Halo and the Invisible Fence. Both are $599 a piece. The Invisible Fence keeps it simple but a little irritating because they have a $99 subscription plan, and it is an annual plan, and there are no other subscriptions available for it. So if you wanted to opt for a monthly subscription plan with the Invisible Fence, you cannot. You don't have an option. You got to pay the $100. So you're essentially paying $699 for the collar. But I will say this, and I don't know how long they'll do it. That $100 is generally you get your first year free. Whether or not they'll do that for you, I don't know. I got my first year free. I can't speak for the company as far as that's concerned. You just have to check it out. You may get it, you may not. I'm not sure. Halo's $599. They have the most convoluted subscription service that you can imagine. Now that $599 obviously it gets you the collar and everything, but you can't use the collar without the subscription. They got the bronze tier at $9.99. They got the silver tier at $14.99. And they got the gold tier at $19.99. And then they've got annual tiers, and then they've got another tier of those tiers, and a tier of those tiers of those tiers. So it gets confusing, but in order to use the Halo, you have to have one of those tiers. And unless you own multiple properties all over the place, I can't see any reason going beyond the bronze tier, honestly, because it just gets more and more expensive after that. So the SpotOn has the biggest upfront cost, but ultimately, when it's all said and done, as time goes on, the SpotOn's value increases because you're not paying for that extra subscription unless you just happen to want dog tracking to come with your collar. Well, that pretty much wraps up the comparison. At the end of the day, we're talking about 3 collars that offer invisible fences and tracking. Now, they do that in various different ways as far as, what you're paying for and what you're not paying for. They're customizable. They're easy to set up in general. I would say the invisible fence is probably the most difficult to set up because of the fact that you have to take the collar on and off the harness thing occasionally. And you also have to reset the collar if you need to do any edits or any fence additions. But they're generally easy to set up. They have good guidelines with their stuff. They've got good warranty plans with each of them, even though the SpotOn's probably got the better one. Ultimately, though, I would say that the SpotOn is better. It is just more reliable, consistently reliable. And that's something you need with these kinds of smart collars, because you're talking about our dogs. Your dog gets out and you're in a neighborhood or, a suburb, or, you're in the city or something like that. You don't want your dog getting out there near the roads, even if you're rural. If you're close to a road, your dog could get run over. You don't want them running off and escaping. In rural areas, there's more than traffic that you have to worry about as well. So to me, if you want something that's the most consistent, the most reliable, the smart collar that's going to give you the most value for your money, it's going to be the SpotOn Omni. With that being said, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to comment at the bottom. Let us know what your experiences are. If you have any of these collars, definitely talk about it. We like to hear different opinions from every walk of the earth. So definitely hit us up with the comments. I always try to jump on there and answer them as much as possible. I can't guarantee you I will, but I always make best effort to get on there and check out the comments and to answer any questions and concerns that you may have. Other than that, I really appreciate everybody checking us out today, and have a fantastic week.